Hey guys, welcome to another video. Thanks for joining today. Today I wanted to do a comparison between two Mount to Coast shoes. Mount to Coast is a brand that's been around for about 2 years. They first started off marketing to ultra marathon runners. It's a company out of Hong Kong. Their founders are people that have worked in the shoe industry for several years and were their foaming specialist. I know they worked for some large companies before. I've met one of the founders. His name was Yeti. I didn't meet the other one, but very impressed with their shoes. They kind of hit the market and became very popular with their R1 shoe, their race shoe that began with. They made a P1, which was their stability shoe. They made an S1, which was their daily trainer. They have since come out with some other shoes. They came out with their T1, which was their trail shoe. They came out with the very popular H1, which was their hybrid shoe, and now they've come out with the C1, which is their high cushion shoe, their what they call their super trainer. So today I actually want to do a comparison between the Mount to Coast H1 and the Mount to Coast C1. There are some differences, but there are definitely some there are similarities, but there are definitely some differences. First, the H1 is a hybrid model, so it does have a little bit of grip on the bottom. They're pretty small lugs. I'd say like 2mm lugs. This is probably the most versatile shoe you could find just about, though. It's nice and breathable. It has a tougher material on the upper to makes it hard to be ripped. It uses their Circle Cell foam, which is the foam they came out with. It's made out of biodegradable feedstock, and they compress it and then they nitro infuse it, and it has the properties, the bounce type of resilience of PEBA, but it's supposed to last twice as long. And I've been very impressed with it so far. I don't think it's quite as bouncy as some PEBAs, but it's pretty bouncy. And I think it is going to last quite a while. As far as the grip of these shoes, these shoes actually feel great on the road, and they actually grip well enough that you can run quite a bit of trails, light to medium, moderate trails. I actually saw a ton of these worn this year at Cocodona, the Cocodona 250 out on the trails. So it can handle some rocks. I wouldn't put it in a real muddy situation because there just aren't very deep lugs. But it is a very nice shoe to hit on, roll through, and it's got some bounce. It has a stack height of 36 in the heel, 30 in the forefoot for a 6mm drop. It also has their tuned fit lacing system where you can adjust the front laces separate from the back laces and adjust to be able to loosen up while if your feet swell during a race. Medium cushioned heel collar, medium cushioned tongue. I just think it's a very versatile shoe and very nice shoe, a really nice ride. Now they've come out with the C1, their high cushion trainer. I don't think this is quite a versatile shoe, but it definitely has its place. Now this one is similar in that it still uses the Circle Cell along the top. It's a tool density foam, and the bottom layer is an EVA, rubberized EVA, which is definitely firmer. So this one, actually the ride is quite a bit firmer than with the H1. However, as you roll forward, you still, it has a lot more of the Circle Cell on toward the front of the shoe. You still get some of that bounce toward the end of your roll through. Wasn't really sure how I would use this shoe because I do enjoy the H1 so much. Now this one is definitely a little bit heavier. There's actually not an enormous difference. I got that I wear men's size 11.5. I get 284 grams in the H1. I'm getting like 296 grams in the C1 in the same size. So it's like 12 grams more. It's a little heavier, but it's not a lot. It is a big bit bulkier shoe. You can see they've definitely widened the base, but the weight is not bad. It rolls through real well. It does have a little bit of pop. It's still got the tuned fit lace system. The biggest difference is it is 42 in the heel, 36 in the forefoot. So you're getting 6 more millimeters of cushion all throughout, and that rubberized EVA, and it definitely has a wider base. So you get a more stable ride. This is not unstable. This is still a pretty stable shoe, but this one is even more stable. I'm just going to go right into it. The cost-wise, the H1 was $160, which I think is a really good price for what you're getting. The C1 is $180, so it's only $20 more, which puts it kind of on the lower end of super shoes. So I think when you compare to other super shoes, it probably doesn't have the propulsion that other super shoes do, and it has no plate. Anyway, like I said, the H1 I think I can use just about anywhere. I take it's great for taking on a trip where you're not going to know whether you're going to run on the road or you're going to run on the trail. It works great for both. I wouldn't hesitate to use this in a road race even, because it's fairly bouncy. I'm more looking at some of the ones that I run in that are kind of a mixture of road and trail. This one is great. This shoe, I wasn't sure how, the C1, the cushion version, I really wasn't sure how I would use it. I'm really not a big fan of the really high stack type shoes, and I just wasn't really sure. But it doesn't weigh a lot for how big it is, and I have found that there are some circumstances where I really am appreciating this shoe, and I've put a lot more miles on it than I anticipated. This shoe, because of the extra, it has some good stability. One thing I hate about really tall shoes is they can sometimes be too soft and squishy, and I feel like my ankle moves too much. They're just not stable enough. But this one, with all that rubberized EVA and the wide base, it actually is very stable, and it's comfortable. I have arthritis in my back that flares up from time to time, and I have found this is the shoe that I can run in the most when that arthritis flares up and I really can't run anywhere else in anything else. So these work great for that. I also think because it is actually a wider shoe throughout, this is going to be more wide friendly for people with a wide foot. It's not really necessarily double E wide, but it is getting definitely wider than most, and a lot of people with a wider foot, this shoe is going to work real well. I'm also looking forward to using this in some of my long road ultras because the extra cushion I think will be nice. It's very stable, and it does just, the fact that it has more room up here will allow me to adjust the laces more. Whereas this one's fairly wide, this one's really wide, so you're really able to use that tune fit to its fullest. I actually have to tighten it down a fair amount just to get a good fit for everyday use. I also have tended to have my back problems during the long ultras. This is going to be a wonderful shoe to have to cut down on that discomfort in my back. As far as speed of the shoe, the H1 is definitely a faster feeling shoe. You feel the foam, the bounce a lot more in that circle cell. This one is a little more muted, but you still have some response. But in a long road ultra, or when I'm running a recovery day, or I'm very tired for some reason, this is an awesome shoe because it doesn't push you to go faster. It can pick up the pace some, but it's just a nice, comfortable, protective ride. Anyway, this is a which shoe for you video, so I just wanted to give you my thoughts on both the two shoes and kind of compare them. I enjoy having them both in my rotation, but not everyone can have a ton of different shoes, so I just wanted to let you get my thoughts on them so you can decide which one might work better for you. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the H1 and the R1 from Mount to Coast. If you enjoyed the video, please consider hitting the thumbs up, the like button. If you're interested in any more of my content, please consider subscribing to my channel. And other than that, I hope you're having a wonderful day. And keep moving!